From news and views, issues and opportunities, we'll have in-depth conversations with decision makers to find out what they know and what they think. I'm Rico Hizon, inviting you to join the exchange because your business is our business. The days are about to get even warmer with the dry season officially here. With more Filipinos turning on appliances to cool down, come warnings on the local power supply, hence the need to balance comfort with saving energy. Businesses must also be mindful of their use to ensure smooth operations during the hot weather. The vision of energy efficiency in our sweet vision. With energy supply seen dwindling during the dry season, how can the government help Filipinos seeking comfort amid warmer days? Let's now have an exchange with former Energy Secretary Vincent Perez. Vince, thank you so much for joining us on the exchange. Every year, there are warnings of thin energy supply in the country. Does this mean we're not producing enough energy?
Good day, Rico. Well, it's that time of the year again, the summer months when it's hot and dry and humid. Everyone's using electricity, air conditioning, and cooling systems. So we are having to deal once again with a tight energy supply. Rico, I have to clarify though that the energy supply is very region specific. We're okay in Mindanao, but we're a little bit tight in Luzon.
Why are we tight in Luzon, Vince?
Well, Luzon accounts for more than 70% of electricity demand in the country, and a lot of the, particularly around what we call the Calabar zone, it's a major industrial hub. So a lot of the larger hydro plants in Luzon typically are affected by the dry months. So it's that time of the year where we tend to see short yellow alerts, March to probably May and early June.
All right. That is common knowledge that we have a shortage of power here in Luzon. So why hasn't the government done enough in building more power facilities to be able to meet this shortfall during the dry season?
That's true, and certainly the government is aware that this is something that's happening, and it's tend to be a very what we call a lumpy type of supply. You know, power projects take many years to develop, and once they're built, they're about 20 years of life. Now, GDP growth, we're all coming out of a COVID slump, and then all of a sudden there's this revenge economic burst after COVID last year, and of course, power plants are not built in overnight, and that's why we're keen to develop more power capacity, but it will take some time. I think there's several things we could do in the meantime, and I think that's what we would like to talk about: energy conservation.
That's right. When I step out of the studio, Vince, I will have beads of sweat again on my forehead. It is searing hot outside right now that we're entering the summer months. And with these warnings always come reminders from authorities to save energy. But is the government also doing enough to promote energy conservation?
Well, they passed a law in 2019, the Energy Conservation Act. As typically, it takes a while for a law to get implemented. But I'll be happy to share with you what we could do in the meantime, both residential and business, how we could adapt to this yellow alerts and help with some energy conservation tips.
So how can we adapt? What can you suggest? Being a former energy secretary from 2001 to 2005, Vince.
Okay, I went through this during my time and it happens again. So it's like deja vu. So let's talk about the household first, the residential household. The three major appliances that consume a lot of electricity in no order is the refrigerator, the microwave, and the aircon. Now, One, more and more appliances are becoming energy efficient. And this experience, I replaced my refrigerator a year or two ago, and I was amazed how far more efficient the newest models are compared to the one I had 10 years ago. And the DOE has this yellow tag that could tell you how energy efficient a brand new appliance is, whether it's a microwave or refrigerator or an aircon. Pay attention to that. Choose only those appliances that have very high energy efficient ratings. There you will see them. It's a yellow tag that the DOE implements throughout the country. But that requires spending money. So that's just one option. The second option is pay attention to your windows. Oftentimes, the windows is where heat comes in. Right now, in the middle of summer months, the windows are the best source of heat. And so cover them with curtains as much as you can during the day. If you have plants, cover them with plants. Insulate your windows, your walls as much as you can, particularly your roof.
And Vince, what about operations of small businesses, especially those selling perishable food? How does this impact their operations, and how can they save energy?
Okay. One of the most expensive consumption of electricity is the centralized air conditioning. Obviously, we cannot talk about cold storage. They have to maintain 0 degrees to preserve the quality and the freshness of the food. But if you're in an office, you're in a building, you're in a BPO, during this time of the year, maybe set your air conditioning to a much higher temperature. You know, I've been into buildings where it's freezing inside. Freezing. I need a jacket. But if they could set it up to 25 degrees, not 20 degrees or 21 or 22, move up the dial of the temperature of the air conditioning to 25, that will save you even a significant amount of electricity consumption. That's easy one. The other one, which is more a temporary discussion, is would you consider a 4-day work week? Maybe during this months until May, perhaps we could consider a 4-day work week where we actually, now everyone does, not just a shift, but maybe we consider a 4-day work week to reduce the consumption at least 1 day a week.
All right.
Rico.
Thank you so much for this energy policy exchange, former Energy Secretary Vincent Perez. Here's a rundown of the week's top business stories. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas raised borrowing rates by 0.25 point to 6.25% as it fights price pressures. Staying with prices, the National Economic and Development Authority lists high inflation and waning pent-up demand among key challenges to the economy. And the World Bank urges the Philippines to boost jobs for the youth. The multilateral lender says the sector is left out, while other labor market indicators have returned to pre-COVID levels. And straight ahead on the exchange, where your business is our business. How can Filipinos beat the heat while being mindful of their energy use? We speak to the National Association of Electricity Consumers for reforms. And what role do businesses play in saving energy? The Philippine Energy Efficiency Alliance joins us straight ahead, right here on CNN Philippines. News you can trust.